So these three things, the main function, my app function, and the material app function, these three are the most important three things that you need to make sure that you have once you're creating any web application page. Okay. So over here, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Flutter tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 6, where we'll be understanding about the main source code flow. Okay, because from our next chapter we will be to the practical part. But before moving on to that, understanding the source code flow about the main source code flow is very important. Okay, so we need to understand about the main source code flow, how it actually works, what is the process of creating an activity page, and how the whole thing basically works. So let's not waste much time and let's get started. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see that I do have basically a chart, and on the right hand side you guys can see that I do have the main source code. Okay, so there are few different things which actually is present inside the main source code flow. Okay, so the first thing which is present or which function is basically applied for working main source code is basically the main function. Okay, so the main function is the most important function for creating your main source code. Okay, so over here, if you take a look, I do have an example. So once you have imported the package of Flutter slash material.dart, you are starting with a function written as void main, then you are running the app. Okay, so these three things, the main function, my app function, and the material app function, these three are the most important three things that you need to make sure that you have once you're creating any web application page. Okay, so over here now, inside this main function only, you do have my app, the material app, the activity page, the scaffold, and the app bar and the body. Okay, so under this main function, what you are doing is you are running my app. Okay, so basically under the main function, what you guys are doing is you are running this my app function. Okay, so any app which you're creating, you need to make sure that you have to run it under the main option. And here also you guys can see that here it shows you guys the class. Okay, so over here they're telling that inside the main function you are going to run my app application. Okay, so that's why you have mentioned class, which is my app, and here you guys can see it's written that stateless widget. Okay, so we are gonna learn later that what is a stateless widget, what is basically a stateful widget. Okay, so here you guys can see a stateful widget is also there. Okay, so we will be learning about that as well. Okay, so first you do have the main function, and inside the main function you run your particular app or you run your particular application. And once you're running your application, there are widgets as well. Okay, so here you guys can see inside the inside your application you do have a lot of widgets. Okay, so I have explained you guys what widgets are. So once you have a lot of widgets, okay, you tend to return the material app. Okay, so over here First thing is that the whole environment is basically inside the main function, and under the main function, you create your application, and under your application, you go for the material application. Okay, or you basically take so many widgets. Okay, so here you guys can see it returns material app. Okay, so that's it. And once you have created those widgets, the next thing is that you need to create an activity page. Okay, so these three things are the main thing for creating a web page application. Okay, that you need to do only. And now once you have your main function, the environment, now once you have the application as well, and you do have your material application, the next thing is that you have to work with the activity page. Okay, so now you need to make sure that you work on the activity page. Okay, so I have showed you guys what an activity page is, and inside the activity page, you need to make sure that you need to have scaffold. Okay. So over here, if you just take a look here, it says return scaffold. Okay. So what are scaffolds basically? So scaffold basically contains the app bar, the body, okay, the navigation bar. Okay. So over here, it contains all of these things. So let's try to understand the main source code flow over here again. So main is the function inside which you run the application. And over here, once you run the application, there you also do need widgets for running the application. And once you have the widget, after that, to make it visible, you do have the activity page. Okay. And inside your activity page, you do have the scaffold, and scaffold basically contains the app bar, the body, the navigation bar, all of these things. Okay. So you guys will understand it in a better way if I just show you guys the example with the one which I was showing in my last class, where I have showed you guys a ton of web page applications, okay, for demo. So yeah, here I do have my web application pages back here again. So now let's say this is an activity page. Okay, so this is the login activity. This is the client details activity. Okay, or let's say this activity page. Okay, so once you create this activity page, or each web application page is known as activity page, and once you have created this activity page, the next thing what happens is that it contains scaffold. Okay, so as we already know that an activity page contains different widgets, the button over here, these boxes, these logos, different kind of text. But once you create an activity page, automatically what happens is that it contains scaffold already. Okay. So on top of scaffold, what we guys do is on top of scaffold, we do put out the widget. Okay. And the whole thing just after producing an activity page, here you do have the scaffold, and scaffold can contain a logo, scaffold can contain the text. This particular scaffold can also contain the login button, all these particular options. Here you do have the sign up option, and also here you do have the forgot password option as well. So these are few of the things that you should remember. And yeah, I hope this particular class was clear on understanding about the main source code flow of how it actually works, what are the different processes of basically working with all of this. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone.